Just days ago, Japan once again faced what it fears most: an underground strike exceeding intensity 7, capable of shifting the Earth's crust by 9 centimeters. Waves of panic rolled across the country faster than the tsunami reached the shore, and it's not just about the destruction, it's about what followed. The country's authorities made an unusual announcement. For the first time in many years, they uttered the word mega earthquake. And this isn't a movie plot. Millions of people receive notifications on their phones, and the Japanese know what this means. But the most frightening thing isn't the natural disaster strike itself. 24 new tremors in less than 48 hours. Experts look at the maps and remember that a similar picture appeared in March 2011. In Japanese prefectures that produce microchips for the entire world, factories stopped. Nuclear power plants activated emergency shutdown systems, and seismologists began tracking whether the wave would reach Russian territories because this is no longer a local problem for one country. Why did Japanese authorities announce a mega earthquake warning for the first time? What connects the December earthquake to the Fukushima tragedy? Why do experts see an alarming pattern in this? How did one underground tremor stop electronics production for the entire planet? Will there be consequences for us? And what new data have Japanese authorities obtained if forecasts change so quickly? What happened in Japan on December 8th made the entire world freeze. An earthquake with a magnitude of 7.5 struck the northern prefecture of Aomori with such force that tremors felt even in Tokyo, hundreds of kilometers from the epicenter. But this was only the beginning. The focus lay at a depth of 54 kilometers beneath the ocean floor. This is approximately like 15 Eiffel Towers. And at this depth, a rupture of the Earth's crust occurred that literally shook all of northern Japan. The intensity of tremors reached more than 6 on the Japanese 7-point scale. For Japanese people accustomed to earthquakes, this is a level at which real alarm begins. Buildings swayed, dishes fell from shelves, people ran into the streets. In the first hours, reports came in of 30 injured. Fortunately, with no fatalities, but this didn't yet mean the danger had passed. The Japan Meteorological Agency immediately declared a tsunami threat along the northeastern coast of Honshu Island and the eastern coast of Hokkaido. These words sound like a death sentence to the Japanese. The memory is too fresh of when a tsunami turned Fukushima into a symbol of nuclear catastrophe. This is precisely why, in the first minutes after the December 8th earthquake, all eyes turned to nuclear power plants. Tokyo Electric Power, the operator of that very same damaged Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant, immediately began inspecting all its facilities. Similar statements came from other companies under whose management nuclear facilities in the risk zone operate. The tension was palpable. Aomori Prefecture, where the earthquake occurred, sits near several nuclear power plants. And there also sits the Rokasho Nuclear Material Reprocessing Plant, one of the largest in the world. This is a strategic facility where spent nuclear fuel is reprocessed. A minor water spill occurred there. Technical services quickly contained the situation. According to official reports, no other more serious violations or threats at nuclear power plants appeared. During the December earthquake, the wave height reached 70 centimeters. Not as much as it could have been, although even such a wave can wash away a person and cause serious damage to buildings. Authorities lifted the tsunami threat only 6 hours after the main shock, during which millions of people remained in constant readiness for evacuation. But the real horror began afterward. In less than 2 days, authorities recorded 24 new underground tremors in northern Japan. The maximum magnitude of these aftershocks reached 6.5, and this is already a serious earthquake in itself, capable of destroying buildings. The depth of focus locations fluctuated from 10 to 50 kilometers, and here again Japanese authorities did something that shocked the country. The government of Japan issued an official warning about increased risk of a mega earthquake with a magnitude of 8 and above. Authorities emphasized this is not a forecast, but a warning. The risk zone covered 182 municipalities from northern Hokkaido to Chiba Prefecture near Tokyo. This is a huge territory where millions of people live. This is precisely where the Japan Trench and the Kuril Trench run, deep trenches where the Pacific tectonic plate slides beneath the North American plate. And the Japanese remember perfectly well what happened the last time something similar occurred in this region. On March 11, 2011, the Pacific plate thrust beneath the North American plate with such force that it shifted Japan's main island of Honshu 2.4 meters to the east. The Earth's axis shifted by 10 centimeters, the day became shorter by 1.8 microseconds. The planet literally changed. And here's what's terrifying. The Japan Meteorological Agency specifically reminded people of one detail of that catastrophe. 2 days before the magnitude 9 earthquake, a strong magnitude 7.3 tremor occurred in the same area, a foreshock, as seismologists call it, or a precursor. Back then, in 2011, no one connected these events. They considered the 7.3 earthquake not so terrible for Japan, but on March 11th it became clear this was a warning. The current situation has similar features. December 8th, 2025, a 7.5 earthquake, the Hokkaido and Sanriku region, where those same subduction zones run. 24 aftershocks in 2 days. Authorities speak directly. The situation truly resembles 2011. This is why even a small percentage probability of a mega earthquake is cause for alarm. Government calculations show a new mega earthquake in the Hokkaido-Sanriku zone could trigger a tsunami up to 30 meters high. Such a wave will sweep away everything in its path. The cabinet representative for disaster prevention addressed citizens. His words sounded cautious but firm and clear. Don't panic, but be ready. Authorities recommended residents prepare an emergency bag with essentials and even sleep in everyday clothes so that in case of tremors, they could instantly run outside. Unscheduled drills took place throughout the risk zone. Authorities checked warning systems, evacuation routes, shelter, readiness. But the earthquake's impact isn't limited only to Japan. Director of the Institute of Earthquake Prediction Theory at the Russian Academy of Sciences, Pyotr Shabalin, made a statement immediately after the tremors about possible consequences for Russian territories. The Kuril Trench stretches from the eastern coast of Hokkaido to Russia's Kuril Islands. This is a unified tectonic structure. What happens on the Japanese section can affect the Russian section. Shabalin warned there's a probability the wave will reach the southern Kurils. A tsunami moves across the ocean at airplane speed, 800 kilometers per hour. From Japan to the Kurils is several hundred kilometers. This means a tsunami could reach Russian shores within an hour and a half after the tremor. But the December earthquake's consequences proved not only humanitarian, the strike also hit the global economy, and in such a way that waves reached everyone who uses a computer, smartphone, or any other electronics. In Iwate Prefecture, where tremor intensity reached intensity 4, sit the largest enterprises of one of the world's leading NAND memory manufacturers. This is the very memory used in solid-state drives, flash drives, and memory cards. Without it, not a single modern gadget works. Production had to stop immediately due to the need to conduct a full equipment check. In microchip production, even microscopic displacement can lead to defects in an entire batch. Imagine, manufacturers produce chips with precision down to nanometers. 1 nanometer is 1/billionth of a meter. A human hair is about 80,000 nanometers thick, and an earthquake, even at intensity 4, can affect such production. Analysts from TrendForce immediately sounded the alarm. The NAND memory market already sat under pressure. The artificial intelligence boom created huge demand for solid-state drives for data centers. Demand exceeds supply, so prices are rising. And at this moment, one of the largest manufacturers suspends operations. In that same Iwate Prefecture sits an enterprise of Tokyo Electron, the largest supplier of lithography equipment for semiconductor production. Without this equipment, production of modern chips is impossible. Toshiba also has an enterprise there for producing chips and image sensors. These sensors are used in smartphone cameras, medical equipment, and security systems. Production stoppage means delivery delays worldwide. At the moment, they have already reported that enterprises suffered no damage. Nevertheless, the very fact that an earthquake of such force occurred near strategic facilities raised questions. What will happen if the next tremor proves stronger? And while economists calculate potential losses, geologists look at seismograph charts and try to understand new data. To understand why Japan sits under constant threat, you need to look at what's happening deep beneath the waters of the Pacific Ocean. Precisely there, on the ocean floor, a geological process unfolds that determines the fate of entire countries. Japan sits in the very heart of the Pacific Ring of Fire, a gigantic arc of volcanoes and fault zones that encircles the Pacific Ocean. The reason for tremors is subduction zones. These are places where oceanic tectonic plates push beneath continental ones and plunge into the Earth's mantle. Off the coast of northern Japan sit two such places, the Japan Trench and the Kuril Trench. Precisely here, the Pacific Plate pushes beneath the North American Plate. The Japan Trench, one of the deepest on the planet, descends to a depth of more than 8 kilometers below sea level. The Kuril Trench stretches for 2,200 kilometers along the Kuril Islands and Kamchatka. These two structures form a gigantic risk zone, and the December 8th earthquake occurred precisely in this zone. Tremors with a magnitude of 7.5 at a depth of 54 kilometers, a classic example of a subduction earthquake. The Pacific Plate abruptly shifted beneath the North American Plate, releasing colossal energy. But the most interesting thing is what recent studies showed. In May 2025, another powerful earthquake occurred, this time on the Noto Peninsula with a magnitude of 7.5. And scientists noticed something astonishing. In some areas, the land rose to a height of up to 5 meters. A group of scientists conducted unique supercomputer modeling to understand why the scale of Earth uplift differed in different places. They created a three-dimensional earthquake model, taking into account many factors. Studies showed that tremors created 3 main faults, and their movement directions proved opposite. The model allowed them to recreate the earthquake's three-dimensional structure with high precision. Scientists now use the obtained data to create improved scenarios of future earthquakes, important for assessing catastrophe risk. But if the Noto Peninsula is a local problem, there exists a threat much more massive in scale. Along Japan's southern coast runs the Nankai Trough, another subduction zone that many consider the most dangerous in the country. Experts estimate the probability of a strong earthquake in Nankai within 30 years at 70 to 80%. Beneath the Nankai Trough sits a huge and active fault. It cuts into the Earth's crust at a very steep angle, and constant shifts along it can cause the collapse of huge masses of water. In 1944, an earthquake with a magnitude of 8.1 in the Tonankai area led to the deaths of more than 1,000 people from a tsunami. According to new forecasts, if a mega-earthquake with a magnitude of 8 to 9 occurs in the Nankai Trough, a tsunami up to 35 meters high will blanket a wide area of the Pacific coast. Another feature of the Nankai Trough is that earthquakes here occur in a chain. If a magnitude 8 tremor occurs in one part of the trough, this can trigger sequential earthquakes throughout the entire region. The experience of August 2024, when a warning about the Nankai Trough caused panic, forced authorities to change their approach to communication. Back then, the message proved too unclear and therefore especially frightening. People didn't understand how serious the threat was and panicked. Stores emptied within hours. In Tokyo, hundreds of kilometers from the Nankai Trough, people bought canned goods by the case. Some coastal hotels recorded 70% cancellations of reservations. The tourism industry lost hundreds of millions of dollars. And yet, the earthquake never happened. The current warning is composed differently. Clear, simple wording, specific recommendations instead of frightening forecasts, and most importantly, emphasis on readiness rather than panic. But one way or another, the situation in Japan has already attracted the attention of the entire world, because this isn't just a country on the edge of a tectonic plate. This is the world's third largest economy, the largest manufacturer of high-tech products, an important trading partner of dozens of countries. If a mega earthquake occurs in Japan, the entire world will feel the consequences. Supply chains for electronics, automobiles, industrial equipment will break. Prices for semiconductors will skyrocket, which will hit production of everything from smartphones to refrigerators. Financial markets will react with panic. But there's also a broader context. The Pacific Ring of Fire encompasses not only Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, Chile, the western coast of the United States, New Zealand. All these regions sit in subduction zones. If one major zone activates, this can affect others. Meanwhile, seismographs continue recording aftershocks. People continue sleeping in clothes, keeping the emergency backpacks ready, and waiting, because in Japan, everyone knows the Earth doesn't forgive carelessness. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos.